Strike one. Strike one. Strike one. Strike one. Here comes the phone call. Do you have it? I haven't seen you. You're not answering your phone. I don't know if it's working. Here it comes. I don't either. Jingle palette. Come on, man. Really? Really, really, really? their head-to-head matchup last night. And so all these teams will go at it again today for matchup number 2 in this 2-game series that each district teams will play against each other. And so Georgetown looking to go 2-0 in the district with a win tonight here on, I believe it's Childhood Cancer Awareness. Wearing the gold jerseys tonight with the numbers and Eagles across the back out of the third base dugout. The introduction of the Connally Cougars going on right now. They're in the gray road pants with green stripe down the legs, and then they have on the black jerseys with green numerals outlined in white on the first base dugout. The black count with the white C logo on it for the Connally Cougars out of the first base dugout. Their starting lineup tonight will go this way. In left field, leading it up, number 4, Jose Rodriguez. In center, batting second, number 7, Alvaro Ruiz. Batting third, the shortstop, number 9, Rooney Sandrea. Batting fourth, the pitcher, number 14, Antoine Scholes. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Ramon Pulgar. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 13, Diego Arispe. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 11, Juan Rojas. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 15, Kenny Labrada. And batting ninth, the third baseman, number 1, Fernando Galvan. So it'll be Rodriguez, Ruiz, Sandrea for the top third, Scholes, Pulgar, and Arispe in the middle third, Rojas, Labrada, and Galvan, the bottom third for the Connally Cougars. For your Georgetown Eagles, as selected by head coach Jordan Vieira, leading it off, playing center field, number 17, he is Devin Peterson. Batting second at second base, number 2, Talon Ball. Batting third at first base tonight, number 21, Riley Leiniger. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 16, Reese Herrera. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 11, Jackson Rainey. Batting sixth and at third base, number 6, Luke Holly. Batting seventh at and playing left field, number 10, Andrew Nations. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 9, Colton Crutchfield. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 20, Jack Kiki. And on the mound for your Georgetown Eagles is the lefty, number 12, David Fluid. So the Eagles will go Peterson, Ball, Leiniger, Herrera, Rainey, and Holly, Nations, Crutchfield, and Kiki for their lineup to start the ball game. We'll take a quick timeout. The national anthem coming your way here on the SHN Sports Network. Back here live, Georgetown High School. We get ready for action here in the top of the first inning as David Fluitt goes to his warm-ups with the catcher Reese Herrera. The Georgetown Eagles defensively here to start the ball game. Nations in left, Peterson in center, Rainey in right. Holly at third, Kiki at short, Ball at second, Reiniger at first base. Reese Herrera behind the mound, and behind the plate on the mound tonight is the junior left-hander David Fluitt. And the throw down from Herrera will bring up the first batter of the ball game for the Connally Cougars, as it will be the leadoff man, number 4, Jose Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the left fielder, will step in from the right side. He was 0 for 3 on the night last night with a fly out and 2 strikeouts. He'll step in here from the right side against the lefty Fluitt. Fluitt from the windup, the first pitch. A swing and a miss, strike one. 0-1 the count to Rodriguez. Fluitt, the lefty, for your Eagles. 6'1", 170. 0-1 pitch, outside corner, called strike 2, and quickly ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes is Fluitt. The 0-2 pitch, fly ball sent down the first baseline, but it's going to curl out of play. So the count will remain, no balls and 2 strikes to Rodriguez. On the mound for the season, Fluitt has appeared 13 innings. He's pitched in 3 games, started all 3. Faced 59 batters. 1 win, no losses on the year. He's allowed 15 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned runs. The 0-2 pitch into right field. Rainey in a few steps. He'll settle under it, make the catch for out number 1. And Rodriguez is retired, F9 in the book for the Cougars, and that'll bring up Alvaro Ruiz, the center fielder for the Cougars.
Alvaro Ruiz.
Ruiz will step in from the right side against the lefty Fluitt. Ruiz last night 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out. First pitch misses up and away for ball 1. First ball thrown by Fluitt here in the ball game. But through that season, he struck out 11. Only walked 5 to 1-0 pitch. It's in there for a called strike. 1-1 the count now to Ruiz, the center fielder. Rooney Sandrea, the shortstop, on deck for the Cougars here at the top of the first. The 1-1 pitch from Fluitt. Ground ball hit down the third baseline, but foul. So the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the center fielder, Ruiz. Alvaro Ruiz, a 5'9", 185-pound senior for the Cougars, stands back in for the right side. Fluitt from the windup. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball back to the mound. Fluitt will flag it into the glove, run over, and flip it to Leiniger at first for the out. 1-3 on the putout to retire Ruiz for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the shortstop, number 9, Rooney Sandrea.
Now batting.
Sandrea, 5'8", 175-pound junior, will step in from the right side as well. Last night's ball game, Sandrea struck out in the first inning, but reached on an error in the throwdown by Herrera. Pops the first pitch into right field. Rainey will come in about 4 steps, makes the catch for out number 3, and the Cougars are retired here in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base after a half an inning. Connally 0. Georgetown coming up to bat. Eagle baseball continues in just a moment here on the SHN Sports Network. come back to the bottom of the first inning. Connally went up and down in order in the top of the first. Fluid only threw 9 pitches in that inning, inducing a couple of pop flies and a ground out. The starting pitcher for the Connally Cougars, the 5'10", 195-pound sophomore Antoine Scholes, a right-handed throwing pitcher, goes through his warm-ups. He'll face off against the top 3 hitters in the Eagle lineup tonight, Peterson, Ball, and Leiniger. Defensively for the Cougars here in the top of the first, or bottom of the first, it'll be Rodriguez in left, Ruiz in center, Rojas in right, Galvan at third, Sandrea at shortstop, Pulgar at second, and Ozuna at first base. Behind the plate is Arispe, and on the mound, Antoine Scholes. The last couple of pitches here from Scholes as he goes through his final warm-ups, and that'll bring up Devin Peterson for your Eagles to start off the bottom of the first inning. Peterson, the 6'2", 205-pound senior, throws right, hits right, and last night, what a ball game he had. And you wouldn't think many times that someone would be outshined in a ball game going 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored, a 2-run home run, a double, and a couple of singles. But he was shown out by his starting pitcher, who goes 6 innings of no-hit ball, struck out 10. And so what a ball game for the Eagles collectively. Behind the plate, multiple people with hits on the night. A lot of players got some swings in, and so look for that tonight if the Eagles can dominate here against the Cougars. Devin Peterson steps in from the right side to start off the bottom of the first here for your Eagles. Scholes works from the windup from the first base side of the rubber. The first pitch to Devin Peterson is back behind him for ball 1. As Devin stood still and kind of looked as it went behind him. It's a 1-0 count to the senior center fielder. Talon Ball, Riley Leiniger also due up here in the top or bottom of the first for your Georgetown Eagles. As Scholes gets the sign from the windup, the 1-0 pitch. Devin Peterson sends it right back up the middle line, drive base hit into center field, and he picks up right where he left off last night. It's a leadoff single for Devin Peterson. So the leadoff man aboard, first hit of the ball game for the Eagles. And that'll bring up Talon Ball, the second baseman. 5'9", 165-pound senior, bats right, throws right, will step in here with no outs and a runner at first base. Nice piece of hitting there by Devin Peterson. Thursday night, starting next week, we'll be live at the Mesquite Creek Outfitters, 7 p.m. for the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. Myself, Jordan Vieira, and some players will bring it to you each week. The pitch to Paul. It's on the outside corner. Devin Peterson will steal the bag as Ball pulled the bat back and took it for strike 1. So now the leadoff man aboard and down to second base on the stolen base. There's a throw not in time. 0-1 the count to Talon with Leiniger on deck here in the bottom of the first. Scholes working from the stretch with the base runner back behind him at second base. 323 down the lines here at Eagle Field. 385 towards the power alleys. 400 about straight away dead center field. The blue back batter's eye. Scholes comes set. Now he'll step off and look at second base. And Devin Peterson will trot back towards the base there safely. 0-1 the count here to Talon. No outs and a runner at second here in the bottom of the first inning. Scholes with the look back. Now the pitch to Ball, 1-0. And Talon Ball pops it up right side of the infield. Ozuna, the first baseman, tries to field it in foul territory and makes the catch as Peterson scrambles back. He was off on the pitch trying to steal third. So Ball will be out on the P3. Caught by Ozuna. First out of the inning, and that'll bring up Riley Leiniger, the first baseman. Leiniger, 6'2", 220-pound senior, throws right, bats left for the Eagles. Steps in here with 1 out and a runner at second base. Leiniger will step in here. Face off against Scholes. Scholes, the first baseman last night for the Cougars. Starts on the mound here from the stretch. The first pitch to Leiniger. Leiniger takes a hack but fouls it off back out of play. For strike 1, 0-1 the count. Next time you'll see the Eagles in action, that'll be next Tuesday night. Back here live, Eagle Field at Georgetown High School to take on the Pflugerville Panthers. We'll bring all the action to you live here on the SHN Sports Network. First Responder Broadcasting, proud to bring you Georgetown Eagle Sports. Baseball season is among us. A turn and throw to second. Scholes will hold off on it as Peterson dives back in safely. But starting next Thursday on the 20th, we'll be live at Mesquite Creek Outfitters. Coach Vieira and I will talk Georgetown baseball. We'll have Player of the Week for JV, freshmen, and a couple of varsity players to talk about, and then some trivia for baseball players. And we'll have them there on the show at the Mesquite Creek Outfitters on Austin Avenue. Scholes will turn again to third base. A lot of attention being paid there to Devin Peterson as he easily stole second base and showed his intent to steal third back when Talon Ball was up. So we'll see what happens here as the Scholes comes set with the stretch. A look back to second. The pitch to Leiniger. 0-1 pitch misses for ball one. 1-1 now the count to Riley. Reese Herrera, the catcher, on deck for the Eagles here in the bottom of the first. 1-1 count to Leininger. 1 out and a runner at second base. Here for Georgetown. Peterson gets his lead off. Scholes will pitch to Leininger. 1-1. It misses low and inside. Ball 2 now. But we got to give credit where credit's due. Jeff Rogers, the Booster Club president, working in conjunction with Mesquite Creek Outfitters, the owners over there, with Cody and others to make it happen on Thursday night, so we can make that show happen for you for the coaches show. The 2-1 pitch is up and away. Ball 3. 3-1 now the count to Leininger. Behind a great pitching performance last night for Leininger, he also went 1 for 2 from the plate, walked twice, scored a run. So helped himself out from behind the plate as well, throwing that no-hitter through 6 against the Cougars. The 3-1 pitch to Leininger. Leininger lays off, takes it low, ball 4. And a 1-out walk has runners at first and second base. The first walk issued by Antoine Scholes, and that'll bring up Reese Herrera, your catcher. Reese, the 6'1", 190-pound senior, bats right, throws right, will step in here with runners on first and second and 1 out. And that'll move Jackson Rainey into the on-deck circle for the Eagles here in the bottom of the first. Herrera steps in from the right side. Scholes will come set in the stretch. The pitch to Herrera. Outside corner called strike 1. 0-1 the count now. Leininger will run for himself tonight, being at first base. Typically, you'll see a courtesy runner for the pitcher and catcher on both teams. And Leininger will get his chance to stretch the legs on the base pass tonight, being the first baseman of record. The 0-1 pitch to Herrera, down and low in the turf. Good stop by Arispe, but the runners were off on the pitch. So a double still has runners both in scoring position as Devin Peterson, his second stolen base of the ball game, gets him to third base. Leininger with the easy steal up to second base, trots in there. So now runners at second and third with 1 out and an 0-2 count. They called that a strike on Herrera. So now Reese will have to protect here with 1 out and runners on second and third. Scholes will come set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Herrera hits it right back up the middle. Scholes can't handle it. Now does. Throws to first base in time. But that'll be an RBI ground out for Herrera as that scores Devin Peterson from third base. So the Eagles strike first. Scoring the leadoff batter. 1-0 here. Leininger advances to third on the fielder's choice. 1-3 on the putout for out number 2 for Herrera. And that's in steps Jackson Rainey, the right fielder. Rainey, 6'2", 215-pound senior. Bats left, throws right. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at third. Scholes will work from the windup. The first pitch to Rainey. Check swing for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Jackson with Luke Hawley on deck. Should Rainey be able to extend the inning here for Georgetown here in the top of the first. Beautiful night here. The clouds dispersed in the outfield. Rainey will send this one to the left side of the infield, curling away from the shortstop. Back into the hole goes Sandrea, makes the catch for out number 3. So P6 in the book to retire Rainey and the Eagles, but not before Georgetown picks up 1 run on one run on 1 hit. No errors and 1 runner left on base. After 1 complete inning, Georgetown 1, Connally 0. Eagle baseball continues here in a moment. Back here for the top of the second inning. Fluid on for a second inning of work. He'll face off against the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Connally Cougars, Scholes, Pulgar, and Arispe.
Now batting for the Cougars, pitcher number 14, Antoine Scholes.
Scholes will step in from the right side. First at bat of the evening. Last night, he struck out 2 times. Was 0 for 2 in the ball game. Fluid from the windup, third base side of the rubber. First pitch, Scholes swinging, hits it into center field, and it is going to drop for a base hit right in front of Peterson. Unable to get to it. So a leadoff single. First hit in the first 2 games for the Cougars. A base hit by Scholes. Brings up Ramon Pulgar, the second baseman.
Ramon Pulgar.
Pulgar was 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Reached on an error in the 5th inning. Was left stranded at first base. Popped out to the pitcher back in the 2nd inning. 0 for 2 Knight steps in here with no outs and a runner at first base. Scholes will run for himself. Held on by Leininger. The first pitch. Pulgar will bunt it, but it's into the batter's box foul. 0-1 the count to Pulgar. Fluid now in the stretch with Scholes on at first base. Still working from the third base side of the rubber. A long look in, gets a sign from Herrera, now comes set on the stretch. A look at first base. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 0-2 now the count to Ramon Pulgar with Diego Arispe on deck, the catcher for the Cougars. Pulgar back in, a choke up. Herrera sets up outside the 0-2 pitch, back up the middle. Ball will field it. Nope. Fielded by the shortstop, Kiki. He steps on the bag right when he grabs it. And they're asking for an interference. And here comes Coach Vieira. The Scholes immediately, Talon Ball, their third baseman, Holly and Kiki were all pointing at the runner who tried to break up the double play. I don't think he made an attempt to slide or get out of the way. So the field umpire is going to talk to the home plate umpire to see if it's runner interference and call the runner out at first. If it stands as it is, Pulgar reaches on a fielder's choice. So we'll see what happens here. Scholes was retired, 6 unassisted. Cut down at second base for the first out. So we'll see what the umpires as they discuss it here. Immediately, Coach Vieira came out of the dugout. Was looking for it. Now the umpire's looking for the coach of the Connally Cougars. That's Corey Colhane. I'll go over and talk to him. Looks like if they're going to him to talk and explain things, it may be they are going to call runner interference there on Scholes as he went into second base. Talon Ball and Kiki both closed in on the base to field that one and try to turn the double play. It was kind of a slow roller. It got past the mound. But Scholes charged in there. So we'll see what they call here. Currently 1-0 after 1 complete inning. The Cougars start off the top of the second with a leadoff single by Scholes. But they are going to call runner interference on Scholes, so it's going to end up being what comes out to be a double play for the Eagles as Pulgar is called out on the runner's interference. So 2 outs and the base is empty. And that brings up Diego Arispe, the catcher, with 2 outs and the base is empty from the right side. Fluid from the windup. First pitch swinging and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 the count. But a great job of communication there between so Fluid has an 0-1 lead on Arispe. The 0-1 pitch is low and outside or low and inside. Ball 1-1 the count now to Arispe. 1-1 pitch fouled into the glove of Herrera for strike 2. 1-2 to count to Arizpe. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball hit to third. Holly on a high hop fields it. Sets his feet, fires across the diamond in time. And the Cougars are retired here in the top of the second. Quick timeout. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. We go to the bottom of the second. Georgetown leads at 1-0 over the Connally Cougars. The Eagles will bring up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters here in the bottom of the second. Holly, Nations, and Crutchfield. Luke Holly, the third baseman, will step in here. He's a 6'2", 180-pound junior. Bats right, throws right, will step in to face off against Scholes. Scholes works from the windup here in the second inning of work for the Cougars. Now he'll step off and reset here to open up the bottom of the second inning. 7 pitches thrown in the inning, 4 flew at the top of the second. First pitch to Holly misses on the breaking pitch outside for ball 1. Scholes in the first inning allowed 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on with 14 pitches thrown as he starts his second inning of work here. The righty from the windup, the 1-0 pitch to Holly. Way outside, ball 2, 2-0 the count. This is the third baseman, Luke Holly. Andrew Nations, the left fielder on deck. Colton Crutchfield, your designated hitter, in the hole here to open up things for the bottom of the second for your Georgetown Eagles. Holly back in, Scholes from the windup, the 2-0 pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. 3-0 the count now to Luke Holly. Scholes looks in and gets the sign from Arizpe. From the windup, the 3-0 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 1. So perfect hitter's count here for Holly with a 3-1 count. You got to expect Scholes to come right back at him. From the windup, the 3-1 pitch. That one's low and in the turf for ball 4. Luke Holly has a leadoff walk. Second walk of the ball game for Scholes, the leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row for your Eagles. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Andrew Nations. Nations, the 6'2", 190-pound senior, throws left, bats left. Andrew will step in here from the left side, no outs and a runner at first base. Last night, Nations was 0 for 1 in the ball game. Was walked, hit by a pitch, scored 2 runs. Holly will still third. The throw, great effort there by the second baseman, Polgar, from keeping it from going into center field. What an easy still by Luke Holly. Has a runner into scoring position now. 4th stolen base of the night for your Eagles. 1-0 the count to Nations. Scholes from the stretch comes set. Look back at second base. And now the 1-0 pitch to Nations. He'll square to bunt, pull it back. It's off the glove of Arispe, and that'll allow Holly to cruise into third base. Just 90 feet away now. And that'll be on a pass ball. It went off the glove of Arispe. Now it's a 1-1 count. He corrected that one. A 1-1 pitch from Scholes to Nations. Inside for ball 2. 2-1 now the count to Andrew Nations. Crutchfield on deck. Kiki in the hole. The Eagles have one out. Here in the bottom of the second, the 2-1 pitch to Nations. Inside, just misses him. And now a 3-1 count for Nations. Shouldn't be any outs, correct? The second batter of the inning. The first batter is on. We'll see. The 3-1 pitch to Nations, up and away, ball 4. So back-to-back walks. Third walk issued by Scholes, has runners on the corners. And in steps Colton Crutchfield, the designated hitter. Crutchfield, the 6'2", 180-pound junior. Bats from the right side, steps in here. On the season is average .222. 11 plate appearances, 9 official at-bats. 2 hits, both of them singles. 2 runs scored. Struck out twice, has been hit by a pitch 2 times. Correction. Yeah, has hit by a pitch twice. There goes Nations. He'll steal second base. They throw down, and Holly's going to try to score home, and he does it. What a job there. It gets away from the catcher, and here comes Nations into third. He gets into third. The throw gets away from Galvan at third down the left field line, and Nations is going to come around to score, and the Eagles take a 3-0 lead. Everything went helter-skelter there for the Connally Cougars. So great hustle by Luke Colley as the throw went down to second base. It was cut off by the shortstop, Sandrea, but his throw home was not able to be handled by Arispe, and Holly slid in safely, and it got away from Arispe. His throw down to third gets away from Galvan, and Nations came all the way around to score from second base, or first base. The initial seal started, and now 2 runs across. The 0-1 pitch to Crutchfield, outside corner, called strike 2. So the first 2 men walk in the inning, and they're both scored now. We'll straighten out the scoring on those 2 to figure out how that went. The 0-2 pitch to Crutchfield. Low and away, ball 1. 1-2 now the count. Nations will get the stolen base, the 5th of the ball game for the Eagles. But then the throwing error, or no error at home. Holly slid in on that play, but it'll be an error that scores Nations from third to home on the catcher, Arispe. A swing and a miss on the 1-2 pitch, fouled off into the glove of Arispe. Crutchfield down on strikes for out number 1 here in the bottom of the second. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter in the batting lineup for the Eagles, Jack Kiki, the shortstop. Kiki, the 5'11", 160-pound sophomore, steps in for the right side. Bats right, throws right. As he steps in here against Scholes, with the base is empty and 1 out. Scholes from the windup. The first pitch to Kiki. Takes it high for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to the shortstop, Jack Kiki, with Devin Peterson, your center fielder, on deck for the Eagles. Scholes from the windup. The 1-0 pitch, ground ball hit to third base. Galvan up with it, shuffles his feet to throw across the diamond, scooped out of the turf by Ozuna to retire Kiki for the second out. 5-3 on the putout. That takes us back to the top of the lineup for the Eagles, and Devin Peterson, the center fielder, will step in. 1 for 1 in the ball game. Singled, stole second, stole third, and scored on an RBI ground out by Reese Herrera. Back in inning number 1. 1 for 1 in the ball game. Now Peterson will step in with 2 outs and the base is empty here. In the bottom of the second, from the windup, Scholes' first pitch to Peterson stays up and in for ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Peterson. On deck, Talon Ball. Should Peterson be able to extend the inning? Scholes from the windup, the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball hit out towards second. Pulgar onto a knee, fields it. The throw across the diamond just in time to get Peterson as Ozuna reaches out and snags it. And the Eagles are retired here in the bottom of the second. But not before they pick up 2 runs on no hits. 1 error and no runners left on base after 2 complete innings. Georgetown 3, Connally 0. Eagle baseball will continue in a moment. Mahan Home and Commercial Services, your source for all things roofing. We provide you with all the information you need to make a decision about your roof. The first line of defense against Mother Nature. A veteran-owned small business that believes in service with a purpose. Our mission is to service our residential neighbors and commercial community by providing the utmost quality of materials and service. Our services include residential roofing, commercial roofing, ladder assist, and holiday lighting. Contact Jesse Mahan at 512-828-7800 or visit their website at mahanhcs.com. Mahan Home and Commercial Services, proud sponsors of First Responder Broadcasting and Georgetown Eagle Baseball. They bring you the 3rd inning here at Georgetown High School as we go to the top of the 3rd. David Fluid back on the mound for your Eagles. He'll face off against the 7, 8, 9 hitters as Rojas steps in. Fluid from the windup. First pitch, swing and a miss for Rojas. 0-1 the count. Thanks to the runner's interference, the Connally Cougars have gone down in order. They race the base runner from the base hit. The 0-1 pitch fouled off back to the screen. 1-1 now, or 0-2 now the count to Juan Rojas, number 11 for the Cougars. Juan Rojas, the 5'9", 165-pound senior outfielder. The 0-2 pitch from Fluid, up and away. Ball 1-2 the count. Kenny Labrada, the DH on deck. Fernando Galvan, the 3rd baseman in the hole for the Cougars here in the top of the 3rd. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Rojas down on strikes for out number 1. Here in the top of the 3rd, first strikeout for Fluid. Through the first 2 innings, Fluid's only thrown 16 pitches on the night.
Designated hitter number 15, Kenny Labrada.
Kenny Labrada will step in here at the DH for his first plate appearance. The 5'9", 170-pound sophomore bats from the right side. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. A 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike. 1-1 now the count to Labrada. Fluid from the windup. The 1-1 pitch to Labrada. Outside, ball 2. 2-1 now the count. From the windup, the 2-1 pitch. Right down Main Street for called strike 2. 2-2 now the count to Labrada with Fernando Galvan waiting on deck for the Cougars. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, back to the screen. Labrada stays alive in the at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fluid from the windup. The 2-2 pitch. Dirty breaking ball in there for a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for the first 2 outs of the inning here in the top of the 3rd. Second strikeout of the ball game for Fluid. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Fernando Galvan, the 3rd baseman for the Cougars. Galvan, the 5'6", 130-pound senior, steps in from the right side. The first pitch from Fluid, a swing and a miss, strike 1. Fluid reared back through the heater there. Galvan unable to catch up. The 0-1 pitch to Galvan. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Fluid a chance to get out of this one quickly and go in order. 0-2 pitch to Galvan. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Fluid strikes out the side here in the top of the 3rd. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. The 3rd inning of Georgetown Eagle Baseball brought to you by Mahan Home and Commercial Services, proud sponsors of Georgetown Eagle Baseball. We'll be right back here on the SHN Sports Network. Jesse Mahan, owner of Mahan Home and Commercial Services, brings you the third inning of Georgetown Eagle Baseball here on the First Responder Broadcast. Proud sponsors of First Responder Broadcasting Georgetown Baseball. A veteran-owned small business believes in service with a purpose. Mission is to serve our residential neighbors and commercial community by providing the utmost quality and of materials and a service. Your source for all things roofing, providing you with all the information you need to make a decision about your roof. The first line of defense against Mother Nature. Contact Jesse Mahan, the owner, at 512-828-7800 or visit their website at mahanhcs.com. That's MAHANHCS.com. We go to the bottom of the third inning. The Eagles will bring up the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Talon Ball, Riley Leiniger, and Reese Herrera to face off against Scholes for his third inning of work. Fluid struck out the side in the top of the third through 13 pitches, thrown 29 through 3 innings, allowed only 1 hit. That base runner was erased on a runner interference. So now Talon Ball will step in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Popped out to first base back in the first inning. Steps in here to lead off the bottom of the third for your Eagles on the season. Talon Ball batting .250 on the year. From the windup, Scholes' first pitch to Ball. Stays high for ball 1. Scholes gets a sign from Arizpe. The 1-0 pitch to Talon. Up and in. Ball 2. Ball, Leiniger, Herrera due up here in the bottom of the third for your Georgetown Eagles. They lead it 3-0. 1 run in the first, 2 in the second. Scholes gets the sign. The 2-0 pitch. Inside corner called strike 1. Now a 2-1 count to the senior second baseman, Talon Ball. Coach David Durrell down in the first base coaching box. Coach Jordan Vieira, head coach in his 5th full season at the helm here at Georgetown as the head coach down at third base. The 2-1 pitch. It's a dead ball hit by a pitch as Talon Ball will head down to first base. For the third inning in a row, the Georgetown Eagles have the leadoff man aboard.
Now batting, first baseman number 21.
First batter hit by a pitch by Scholes. That'll bring up Riley Leiniger. He's 0 for 0 in the ball game. Walked and stole a base in the first, was left stranded at third base. Steps in here with no outs and a runner at first. Scholes will switch over to the stretch. Leiniger, the left-handed hitter, steps in from the left side. Scholes will come set from the stretch. First pitch to Leiniger. Leiniger, a big hack, drives it down the right field line. A long run for the right fielder. He's going to circle over and make the catch about 5 feet in fair territory for out number 1. About 5 feet, 7 feet short of the fence. So a long out for Riley Leiniger, F9 in the book. For out number 1.
Catcher, number 16, Reese Herrera.
Talon Ball returns to first base. And now Reese Herrera will step in. And an RBI ground out in the first. Was 0 for 1 in the ball game with that RBI. Grounded out to the pitcher, Scholes. Ball leads off first, held on by Ozuna. Scholes will step off and Ball back to the bag safely. 1 out here at the bottom of the third. Ball with the leadoff. Ozuna holds him on. Scholes comes set. Ball off and running. The pitch outside for a ball to throw down. Not in time. Talon Ball still second base, the 6th stolen base of the night for Georgetown base runners. As the runner in scoring position now with 1 out. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Reese Herrera with Jackson Rainey, the right fielder, on deck. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Scholes will come set in the stretch. A look back at second base. The 1-0 pitch, low in the turf. Good scoop by Arizpe, but a 2-0 count now to Reese Herrera. Scholes gets the sign, comes set in the stretch. Throws to second base. He won't throw it. He'll turn, but Talon Ball easily back standing. Now everyone resets. Ball leads off second base. Zandrea Back and forth behind him at second base. Scholes will turn and throw to second this time, but Talon Ball dives back in safely. Closer play there. It's a nice throw down near the bag by Scholes. Herrera will step out and reset at home plate now. 2 balls, no strikes, and 1 out. The runner at second base. Scholes gets the sign and comes set in the stretch. A look back at second base. The 2-0 pitch. Inside corner called strike 1. 2-1 the count now to Reese Herrera. Fake the throw to second base again. Talon Ball dives back in safely. Another spin, but no throw as the shortstop, Sandrea, with not covering. The count remains 2 balls and 1 strike to Reese Herrera. A lot of attention given to Talon Ball down at second base. Now another spin to second base, no throw. Two-one pitch, sliced foul. Down the third baseline, count goes even now to Herrera, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll go ahead and apologize for it now. I just saw it on the in the booth. The head of the pitcher goes behind the advertisement for Mahan Roofing, so I apologize. We'll get that adjusted in the next week's game on Tuesday. We'll get that relocated on the screen. Or we'll get it adjusted right now. There it goes. That's why she runs everything behind the scenes. 2-2 the count to Herrera. The 2-2 pitch. Off speed, but it just stays high for ball 3. Just missed. So Herrera now a full count with 1 out and a runner at second. Scholes comes set. The payoff pitch to Herrera. Talon Ball off and running. Throw down to third. Not in time. His ball slides in, but it was ball 4. So Talon Ball with another stolen base. 7th of the night for Eagle runners.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 11.
And Herrera down
Jackson
to
Rainey.
first base with a stolen base, or with a walk. It's the 4th walk issued by Antoine Scholes.
Courtesy running, number 4, Cord Lawrence.
Cord Lawrence on to courtesy run for the catcher, Reese Herrera. And in steps Jackson Rainey. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flew out to the shortstop to end the first inning. Now has runners on the corners with 1 out. Cord Lawrence, the courtesy runner, leads off first. Talon Ball leads off third. Galvan. The edge of the grass. Lawrence off and running. Reese Bay unable to get a grip on it. No throw down. So another stolen base for Georgetown. 8th of the night for the Eagle base runners. And now runners both in scoring position, with Lawrence at second base and Ball at third base with 1 out. Now Jackson Rainey. An opportunity here for an RBI or 2. The infield for the Cougars now in on the grass. And Cord Lawrence will go about halfway between second and third. Scholes from the windup, the 1-0 pitch. Rainey will bunt it down the third baseline. If it'll stay fair, it's beautiful, but it just trickles foul. No one was covering second. If that was fair, Jackson Rainey has a double on the bunt. But instead, it's a strike. 1-1 the count to Jackson Rainey. A beautiful bunt laid down there by Rainey, but it just kicked foul down the third baseline. Signs given now. Rainey steps out. All the runners now get the signs and move on. Cord Lawrence. Good chunk off of second base. So a base hit into the grass will score Lawrence from second base. Scholes from the windup. The 1-1 pitch to Rainey. Rainey hits it hard past Ozuna at first base into right field. That'll score 2 more runs. Rainey around first. He's headed to second base, and it's going to be a 2 RBI double for Jackson Rainey. A nice hard shot with the infield in. Ozuna really had no chance to field that one. So 2 more runs on the board for the Eagles, a 5-0 lead. For your Eagles on the second hit of the ball game, Jackson Rainey, a 2 RBI double, brings up Luke Hawley. Luke Hawley steps in. He's 0 for 0 in the ball game. Walked, stole second, advanced to third on the pass ball, and then scored a run. And now a visit to the mound by the Cougar head coach Cole Hain. We'll take a quick break. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Still here in the bottom of the third, 1 out, runner on second base. The Eagles will push 2 across on a 2 RBI double by Jackson Rainey. And in steps Luke Hawley, 0 for 0 in the ballgame. Reached on a walk and scored a run in the second. Steps in here with Scholes from the stretch. The first pitch to Hawley. Ground ball foul, pulled back towards the dugout. 0-1 the count to Luke Hawley. Through 2 1/3 inning, Scholes has allowed 2 hits. Walked 4, hit 1, but given up 5 runs. Two here in the inning for the Eagles. Came on a beautiful shot, hard shot by Rainey down the first baseline. But that may be all for Antoine Scholes as Coach Cole Hain comes right back out. We'll take a quick timeout. The call to the bullpen returns when we come back. So back to action here. Luke Connally will stay in to bat here with an 0-1 count, but a weird mid-at-bat pitching change as Jose Rodriguez comes in to pitch from left field. The 0-1 pitch to Holly, and he fouls it back to the screen. And now Holly behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Sorry about the mix-up on the scoreboard. Score should be correct now. Georgetown is leading 5-0, not trailing 5-0. 0-2 the count to Holly. Rodriguez from the stretch. The pitch down low on the turf. And Rainey, no attention being paid to him, and he easily steals third base. 9th stolen base of the night for the Eagles. So now another runner just 90 feet away in scoring position with 1 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count now. This one down on the turf. Good block by Arizpe. 2-2 now the count to Holly. The 2-2 pitch. Low and outside. Arizpe, another good block. Keep it at home plate. Not allow Rainey to score. Full count now to Luke Holly. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Umpires getting somebody to stop the flash photography over at the first base dugout. So Holly will step back in here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, a 1 out, and a runner at third. Jackson Rainey, a 2 RBI double. Stole third base, stands there. The full count pitch skips in. It gets away from the catcher, and here comes Rainey. The toss to home, not in time. Jackson Rainey will score, and Luke Holly reaches on a base on balls. So it's an 0-2 count to Luke, and he works it full and draws a walk. His second of the ball game. Rainey scores the 6th run of the ball game for Georgetown. On that wild pitch, the first one by Rodriguez. That run is charged to Antoine Scholl, so he gave up all 6 runs. Responsible for all 6 runs in the ball game. First walk issued by Rodriguez. In steps Andrew Nations. He's 0 for 0 in the ball game. Walked, scored a run. Holly off and run on the first pitch. It's called a strike. Throw down to second. A good job by the shortstop, Sandrea, to come across and cut it to keep it from going to the outfield. But an easy stolen base by Holly, the 10th of the night for Eagle base runners. No balls, 1 strike the count to Andrew Nations with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Andrew Nations. Colton Crutchfield, the DH, on deck for the Eagles. The 0-2 pitch to Nations outside for ball 1. 1-2 the count. 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third so far for the Eagles. A 6-0 lead over the Connally Cougars. Rodriguez comes set from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch, ground ball, pulled foul down the first baseline. So Nations stays alive in the at-bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind starting to pick up here as the sun sets on a beautiful night for baseball here in the week of spring break. Eagles will have some time off here. Rodriguez turns towards second. Holly jolts back safely there. No throw, and 1-2 count now to Nations. He'll step back in. The 1-2 pitch. Nations takes a hack at it, pops it foul down the third baseline, and it's going to curl out of play. And on top of the batting facility. A good bat here by Andrew Nations. Manager Jared Fremmel. Spike of the hat. Little dance here, trying to get the crowd going here on a beautiful Wednesday night. Coach Vieira comes down. Get back in the dugout. Jared getting this crowd worked up. 6-0 here at the bottom of the 3rd. Rodriguez will come set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch outside. That's a balk. So Holly gets third base. He never came to a complete stop, so no pitch on that one. The count stays 1-2. But Holly advances to third on the balk. So the count 1-2. Nations a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down for the 2nd out of the inning. That'll bring up Colton Crutchfield, the DH. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game.
Next up,
Struck out swinging in the second.
9, Colton Crutchfield.
So you got Holly down at third base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. 3 runs across so far. And in steps Colton Crutchfield, the DH. From the right side, Rodriguez comes set in the stretch. The first pitch to Crutchfield. He takes it up and in. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to Crutchfield. Jack Kiki on deck. Should Crutchfield extend the inning? Base hit here will score the 7th run of the ballgame for Georgetown. The 1-0 pitch. And Crutchfield fouls it back to the screen. You hear it crash into the netting. Love being back home. The crowd mic right behind home plate at the backstop. You hear all the effects. You hear the dugouts chirping back and forth. All playing going on. And 1-1 the count to Crutchfield. The 1-1 pitch. Crutchfield fouls it back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the junior DH. Crutchfield will step back in for the right side. Rodriguez looks in and gets a sign, comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. That hit him. Crutchfield down to first base on the hit by pitch. First batter hit by a pitch by Rodriguez.
Now batting.
That'll bring up the shortstop, number 20, Jack Kiki.
Jack Kiki.
Kiki 0 for 1 in the ball game, grounded out to the third baseman back in the second inning. Steps in here with the runners on the corners and 2 outs. Crutchfield leads off first. Holly leads off third. Ozuna holds Crutchfield on at first base. Rodriguez comes set. Crutchfield off and running. The throw down from Arispe, cut off by the shortstop. The throw back home, and they get him at home plate. Nice play there by the shortstop, Sandrea. So Crutchfield will get the stolen base down to second base. And then Holly cut down at home. 6-2 on the caught stealing for out number 3, and the Eagles are down here in the bottom of the third. The third inning brought to you by Mahan Construction, Home and Construction Services. We'll take a timeout when we come back at the top of the 4th inning here on the SHN Sports Network. Go to the top of the 4th. Fluid on to work his 4th inning. He'll start off against Jose Rodriguez, the leadoff man. Fluid has faced the minimum here through 3. First pitch to Rodriguez, up and away, ball 1. 0-1 the count to Rodriguez. He flew out to right field in the first inning, 0 for 1 here in the ball game. The 1-0 pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Herrera for a strike. 1-1 the count. 6-0. Georgetown leads it over Connally here in the top of the 4th. The 1-1 pitch just misses inside for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Rodriguez. 1, 2, and 3 hitters due up here at the top of the 4th. Rodriguez, Ruiz, and Sandrea. 2-1 pitch from Fluid. Ball hit out to second on a hop. Fielded by Talon Ball across to first in time for out number 1. 4-3 on the putout. Nice play by Ball there to retire Rodriguez. That'll bring up Alvaro Ruiz, the center fielder. He grounded out to the pitcher, Fluid, back in the first inning. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Through 3 innings, Fluid has allowed 1 hit, struck out 3, but only faced 9 batters. The first pitch, ground ball to third. Holly fields it on a couple of hops to throw across the diamond. Nice play there by Liner to go out and grab that one. 5-3 on the putout to retire Ruiz for out number 2. And that'll bring up Rooney Sandrea. He flew out to right field in the first inning. 0 for 1 in the ball game. The shortstop steps in here. 2 quick outs in the inning here in the top of the 4th for the Cougars. Fluid had 9 pitches in the first, 7 in the second, 13 in the third. He struck out the side in the top of the 3rd. The first pitch to Sandrea, fouled back to the screen for strike 1. 0-1 the count to the shortstop, Sandrea. Fluid from the windup, the 0-1 pitch. Stays high for ball 1. 1-1 the count now to Sandrea. The 1-1 pitch. Stays high and away, ball 2, 2-1 the count. You hear the pop of the mitt. The 2-1 pitch. Right down Main Street for a called strike. 2-2 now the count to Sandrea. Fluid gets the sign from the windup. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball hit out. And it'll be up the middle into center field for a base hit. A 2-out single by Sandrea keeps the inning alive. Second hit of the ball game for the Cougars. And now in steps number 6, Enzo Moggers. He came in defensively for Antoine Scholes. Moggers, 5'6", 145-pound senior, will step in from the right side in his first plate appearance here in the ball game. In the top of the 4th, Fluid from the stretch. First pitch to Moggers, up and away, ball 1. The 1-0 count to Moggers. The 1-0 pitch. Up and away, ball 2. 2-0 the count now. A little breezy starting to pick up here. Georgetown. Fluid comes set to throw over to first base. Sandrea dives back in. 2-0 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. A runner at first. A 2-out single by Sandrea, the shortstop. Has the runner at first base. Sandrea leads off first. The 2-0 pitch from Fluid. That one's in there in the inside corner for a called strike 1. 2-1 the count. Ramon Pulgar, second baseman on deck for the Cougars. Should Moggers be able to extend the inning. Fluid comes set. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play, back over the clamshell. And now the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Enzo Moggers, the senior. Fluid comes set. The 2-2 pitch. The runner off. The throw down from Herrera. Fielded by Kiki. The tag not in time. So a stolen base there. The count now 3-2. First stolen base on the night for the Cougars. And now a full count to Moggers. With 2 outs and a runner at second. Fluid comes set. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Cougars go down here in the top of the 4th. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base after 3.5. Georgetown 6, Connally 0. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up for the Eagles. Kiki, Peterson, and Ball. First pitch of the inning, Kiki sends a charge into it, straightaway center field, and it'll drop for a base hit. So a leadoff single for Jack Kiki, the number 9 hitter in the Eagle lineup. Continues the trend, the leadoff man aboard in each of the first 4 innings of the ball game.
Back to the top of the lineup for your Eagles, number 17.
This is the third hit of the ball game for Georgetown.
Peterson.
Now Devin Peterson will step in. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. A couple of stolen bases, a run scored. Defensively, Pulgar, the second baseman, moved out to left field when Rodriguez came in to pitch, and Maugers came in at second base defensively. First pitch swinging, Peterson sends it into right field. The right fielder, Rojas, charges in, but can't get to it. It falls for a base hit. As this is knocked down by the wind into back-to-back singles. Have the first 2 base runners aboard here in the bottom of the fourth. So back-to-back base hits. Hits 3 and 4 of the night.
Second baseman, Talon Ball.
Now Talon Ball will step in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Popped out to first in the first inning, hit by a pitch. A couple of stolen bases and a run scored in the third inning. Steps in here with runners on first and second. And no outs. The first pitch to Ball. He'll lay off and take it on the outside corner for a called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Talon Ball. Kiki down to second base. Peterson at first. The 0-1 pitch. Talon lays off. It's low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. No outs and runners at first and second. The Eagles would love to get in a position to run roll this one again tonight and get it out of here early if possible. 1-1 pitch to Ball. The runners are off on the pitch. That one's low for ball 2. No throwdown. So I think at this point you go with the defensive indifference there. They don't throw down, and with a 6-run lead. So Peterson advances to second there. Jack Kiki up to third. 2-1 the count to Talon Ball now. 2-1 pitch. Ball hits it down the third baseline, but it's just going to curl foul as that breeze is picked up going right to left. Pushes it just foul. So the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Talon Ball. Here in the bottom of the fourth. Ball back in there. Rodriguez on for a second inning of work here for the Cougars. Comes set in the stretch. The 2-2 pitch to Talon Ball. Ball lays off and takes it low and outside for ball 3. 3-2 now the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Runners at second and third here in the bottom of the fourth. Georgetown putting pressure on. Leiniger Herrera also due up here. The payoff pitch. Talon Ball rips it down the third baseline. Fair! Here comes 1 run. Second run around from second base. He'll score easily as Peterson scores. And Talon Ball a 2 RBI double. And he's going to run. There was runner interference, and they're going to get it there. Ball's going to just advance through the tag. But he'll get third base. Heads up base running by Talon Ball as he circled the base. Maugers had gotten into the way, and the interference was called on the player interference by the Cougars. So Talon Ball up to third base. He'll get a double on the play, a 2 RBI double, and the Eagles lead it 8-0 now. What a great shot just inside the bag at third base. Third hit in a row for the Eagles. That's a big one there for Talon Ball. Peterson easily scores from second as it went all the way to the corner. And in steps Riley Leiniger. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. As he walked in the first, flew out in the third. First pitch is up and away, ball 1. So a good battle there from Talon Ball. Scores Kiki and Peterson. The 1-0 pitch to Leiniger. Nice shot into right field. Is it going to carry? And it does. The right fielder will make the catch. Talon Ball tags at third. Here comes the relay throw, but not anywhere in time. Ball scores easily. So a beautiful sac fly from Leiniger puts the 9th run on the board for the Eagles. They lead it 9-0 here. Nice piece of hitting there by Leiniger. He got a hold of it. That one just stayed up long enough. So an L9 in the book, but that RBI scores Ball from third base. And in steps Reese Herrera, the catcher. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. The pitch from Rodriguez hits him. Herrera gets his base. He reaches base for the second inning in a row. Walked and scored a run in the last inning. Now reaches on a hit by pitch. The second batter hit by a pitch by Jose Rodriguez. Talking about catchers, Reese Herrera just having a chat conversation with last year's catcher's dad, Chad Pernica. Chance Pernica caught last year, the senior for your Eagles, one of the leaders on this team. Just trying to catch up, and what a great kid Chance is, and so enjoyed chatting with Chad here in the booth on the text message. He got us straightened out on the score that we didn't realize we had messed up, so I appreciate Chad doing that. But Chance, such a good kid over at Blinn in the Fire Science Academy, and so just a shout out to Chance. What a good young man he was, and a fun kid to call baseball for last year here at Georgetown. First pitch misses. Cord Lawrence running for the catcher Herrera down at first base. As Jackson Rainey steps in, the first pitch is a ball to Rainey. 1-0 the count here. To Rainey. Rodriguez comes set in the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. That one stays low and inside, ball 2. You talk about senior catchers that have seasons for Georgetown. You go back to Zach Mozik back in 22 when they went for the title. Pernica was the backup catcher, did a lot of catching there to back up Mozik during the year. And then Pernica, once he came back from that thumb injury and got back into the groove behind the plate, led this team to the third round of the playoffs last year. And then now Reese Herrera having his time as a senior catcher as he backed up Chance last year. And so just a good lineage of catchers to come here. They're all good kids. Have been enjoyable to be a part of and get to know. Rainey sends the 2-0 pitch into center field. It carries away from the center fielder, but he'll settle under it, make the catch for out number 2. And Cord Lawrence will head back to first base. F8 in the book to retire Rainey for the second out. And that'll bring up Luke Colley. There's a 2-1 count there. I missed that pitch, sorry. Can't say enough about these kids. I tell you what, Georgetown has got a great program going, and some of the best ones that you just get to reminiscing about them. And Pernica, one of those kids, along with Mozik, now Herrera, and the catchers. The catcher lineage has been great here at Georgetown. And so Holly swinging a miss at the first pitch, 0-1 to count to Luke. He's 0 for 0 in the ball game. 2 walks, has scored a run, a couple of stolen bases as well. Rodriguez comes set, the 0-1 pitch to Holly. Holly sends it into left center field. That's going to be down for a base hit. Cord Lawrence is going to hold up at second. Nope, he's going to take off for third base. And so now that'll be a 2-out double by Luke Colley. Has runners at second and third for the Eagles. A good piece of hitting there by Luke, found in the left center field gap. A 2-out double. Moves Lawrence all the way over to third base. And now Tate Ritchie will step in and pinch hit here for Andrew Nations. Tate Ritchie, the 5'7", 160-pound junior. Step in here to pinch hit in the bottom of the fourth for Georgetown. First pitch to Ritchie, hits him. Now the base is loaded. Third batter hit by a pitch by Rodriguez. So the base is full of Eagles here in the bottom of the fourth. 9-0 your score. And in steps.
Now pinch hitting for the Eagles,
number 7.
Hayden Grooms.
Hayden Grooms will pinch hit for the designated hitter Colton Crutchfield tonight. Hayden Grooms, he's the 5'10", 180-pound junior. He'll step in here with 2 outs and the base is loaded. Hayden Grooms from the right side. First pitch swinging, fouls it off down the first baseline, or out of play. 0-1 to count now to Hayden Grooms. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball sent into shallow center field. Be a tough play. And unable to get to it. It's going to drop for a base hit. That'll score 2 more runs. A 2 RBI single by Hayden Grooms. Plays Cord Lawrence and Luke Colley, and the Eagles lead at 11-0. So now the run rule is in effect for Georgetown. Lawrence comes around to score from third base. Holly from second base. And Tate Ritchie all the way around to third base on that base hit.
Now batting number 20, Jack Kiki.
By Hayden Grooms, a 2 RBI single. In the pinch hit there for Grooms. Jan Kiki will step in. He led off the inning with a single to start things off. Just missed by the pitch. Being hit by the pitch. Takes it inside for ball one. The 1-0 pitch from Rodriguez. That'll hit him. So that'll load the bases back up for the Eagles. The fourth player hit by a pitch by Rodriguez. And that'll bring up Devin Peterson. 2 outs and the bases loaded here. 11-0 your score. Georgetown leads it.
Number 17.
5 runs across here in the inning. The Eagles have put up a run, at least 1 run in every inning. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 5 in the fourth. Devin Peterson steps in. 2 for 3 on the day. First pitch is a ball. 10th hitter, make it the 11th hitter of the inning for the Eagles. The bases loaded, 2 outs. The 1-0 pitch misses for ball 2. 2-0 the count now. Tate Ritchie down at third base. Hayden Grooms at second. Jack Kiki down at first. A 2-0 count to Devin Peterson. Peterson back ready. Rodriguez comes set. The 2-0 pitch. And a ball sliced down the first baseline. It looks like it's going to curl into foul territory and does. Unplayable for the defense from the Cougars. And that'll make it a 2-1 count now to Devin Peterson. Peterson batting .400 on the year. 45 at-bats, 56 plate appearances in 16 games. An on-base percentage of .482, slugging percentage .667. 18 hits, 10 of them singles, 6 doubles, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, 13 runs scored. He's walked 9 times, struck out 12. The 2-1 pitch to Peterson. Swings, line drive into center field. The center fielder backs up a couple of steps and makes the catch for out number 3. F8 in the book to retire Peterson and the Eagles, but not before Georgetown picks up 5 runs here in the bottom of the 4th and takes an 11-0 lead over the Cougars. Eagle baseball continues in just a moment here on the SHN Sports Network. Jenny Mahan, Caldwell Banker Realty, is a proud sponsor of First Responder Broadcasting and Georgetown Eagle Baseball. A licensed real estate agent since 2016, Jenny is a family-first person that gives all she has to her family. Jenny takes that same love of family and delivers that to her clients from the start. Jenny's happy to help anyone looking to buy or sell a house, farm, or ranch. Let Jenny help you. Contact Jenny 817-404-9203 or email her at jenny.mahan@cbunited.com. JENNY.MAHAN@cbunited.com. On the mound for the Georgetown Eagles is going to be number 1. That is Cooper Ashby on to close things out here for the Eagles in the top of the 5th if they can get the Cougars out without giving up a couple of runs. So Ashby will come in here to try to close it out for your Georgetown Eagles as the Eagles look to improve to 2-0 in the district and then have a little bit break until Tuesday of next week when the Panthers of Pflugerville High School come in to take on your Eagles here. Pulgar will step in to start the inning for the Connally Cougars. Pulgar 0 for 1 in the ball game. 1-0 the count. First pitch misses to Pulgar. 1-0 the count from Ashby. The 1-0 pitch. Ground ball. Trickles down the third baseline, but it is going to trickle foul as Holly picks it up in foul territory. Would have been a tough play had Luke had to field that in fair territory as Pulgar was moving down the line. But the count evens out at 1 ball and 1 strike here. Pulgar called out on a runner interference as he had grounded a ball to up the middle. It was fielded by Kiki. He stepped on the bag and tried to throw to first to get Pulgar on a double play. But Pulgar was called out on the runner interference by Scholes at second base. So he reached on the fielder's choice but was called out on that play. And so his 0 for 1 night continued. And now that was a swing and a miss for strike two. 1-2 the count now. Cooper Ashby, the arm on the mound for your Georgetown Eagles. He's a 6'4", 165-pound right-handed throwing senior. And he just misses outside on the 1-2 pitch and makes it, or on the 1-2 pitch, and now it's 2-2 to Cooper Ashby. From Cooper Ashby to Ramon Pulgar. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Ashby went right at him and got him swinging for out number one. Ashby on for his first inning of work and gets one strikeout for out number one, and that'll bring up Diego Arispe, the catcher. He grounded out to the third baseman, Holly, back in the second inning, 0 for 1 in the ball game. As he steps in here with one out, no runners on. Ashby from the windup, the first pitch. Misses just low for ball one. Ashby gets the sign from Herrera. The 1-0 pitch. That one just misses low for ball two. 2-0 now the count to Arispe. Juan Rojas on deck. Kenny Labrada in the hole. Should the Cougars extend the inning. 2-0 count here to Arispe. The 2-0 pitch. Outside ball three. 3-0 the count to the catcher, Diego Arispe. Kenny Labrada, the DH, on deck for the Cougars. Ashby comes set from the windup. The 3-0 pitch. And popped up. Back behind home plate. Herrera has a chance. Can't get to it. What an effort there by Herrera as he slid on the guards all the way over towards the far side by the dugout. So, Arispe head back to home plate. 3 balls and 1 strike to count now with 1 out. The base is empty here in the top of the fifth. Georgetown with 11 runs. The Cougars, they get 2 more outs. The ball game will be over on the 10-run rule. Cooper Ashby will look in and get the sign from the windup. The 3-1 pitch. And a ball fouled off just out of play down the first baseline. So the count goes full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Arispe. So Ashby clawing his way back into this one. Got behind 3-0 in the count. Now a full count to Arispe with the 1 out. From the windup, the payoff pitch. This is low, ball 4. So a 1-out walk puts Arispe on first base for the Cougars. First walk issued by Cooper. And now Juan Rojas, the right fielder, steps in. He's 0 for 1 of the ball game. Struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Ashby from the stretch, first pitch, misses just up for ball 1. Want to know the count to Rojas. Arispe leads off first. Held on by Leininger. The 1-0 pitch. Stays high, ball 2. 2-0 the count now. Cooper works from the first base side of the rubber in the stretch. Gets the sign and comes set. The 2-0 pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. 3-0 the count now. To Juan Rojas, Kenny Labrada, the DH, on deck. Ashby comes set in the stretch. The 3-0 pitch. Now it's in there for a called strike. 3-1 now the count. To Rojas. Ashby gets the sign from Herrera. The 3-1 pitch. Low and outside, ball 4. Back-to-back base on balls allowed by Ashby here. As runners at first and second for the Cougars with 1 out.
Now batting number 15, Kenny Labrada.
Kenny Labrada, the DH, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out looking in the 3rd inning. Steps in here, 0 for 1 with runners on first and second and 1 out. Ashby comes set in the stretch. The first pitch to Labrada. It's in there for a called strike. 1-0-1 the count to Kenny Labrada with Fernando Galvan on deck, the third baseman. The 0-1 pitch. Misses up for ball one. 1-1 the count to Labrada. The next time the Eagles are in action will be Tuesday night back here at Eagle Field at Georgetown High School. 7 p.m. start against the Pflugerville Panthers. Join us live here at Eagle Field or join us online. SHNSports.com. The 1-1 pitch. Catches the outside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count now to Labrada. We'll have the call live here. We try to be on air about 6:45 of the pregame. 7 o'clock first pitch to bring you all the action. So come join us here at the field if you can. If not, we'll be online. Join us there. Ashby a look back to second. The 1-2 pitch. Misses outside. Ball 2. 2-2 the count to Labrada. The 2-2 pitch. Low and outside. Gets away from Herrera. The runner off from second. The throw down to third in time. What a job by Herrera. Goes out and gets it and throws out a Rispe trying to advance to third base. That'll be 2-5 on the cut, stealing for out number 2. So now just a runner at first base with a full count to Labrada. What a throw by Herrera. Ashby will come set in the stretch. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the ball game. Ashby works out of trouble there with his second strikeout of the inning. And the Cougars go down 11-0 here in the ball game tonight at Georgetown High School. Georgetown wins it, advances to 7-9-1 on the year overall, but more importantly, 2-0 in district standings. The Connally Cougars dropped to 3-11 on the year, but they are 0-2 in district play after this head-to-head tilt with the Eagles over the last 2 nights. So the next action, Tuesday night, the Pflugerville Panthers will come into town, and then the Eagles will go on Friday night over to Pflugerville for the second of 2 matchups. And then Thursday night, we'll be at Mesquite Creek Outfitters for the coaches show at 7 p.m. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll be down on the field and visit with Coach Vieira. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. We're back here live, I think, at the field. Are we good? All right, we're live here on the field. Coach Vieira, a big 11-0 win. The Georgetown Eagles advance to 2-0 in district more than anything. Some good things from this team. Quality hitting, good pitching again. David Fluid, a nice four-inning performance there. Ashby comes in, works through a couple troubles, a couple strikeouts there after a couple walks. But talk about this. This team gets 2 big wins to start off district play. How does that work for this team, and how did that help this team, kind of the morale, get better and get things moving?
Yeah, David did a good job of coming in and throwing touch strikes. Cooper came in and showed slamming door, like you said. Opportunity hitting. Played quality defense for the most part. And then to go back to your question, anytime you get to start District 2-0 is a good way to start. We got a long way to go. But anytime you pick up two quality W's, one on the road, one at home, it's a good thing.
On a night like this, a couple of innings that the Eagles extend offensively, how does that affect David Fluid? He comes out there in the 4th inning, and after a long time sitting, the team puts up 5 runs, still had 3 runners left on base at the end of that inning. How does that affect them? How do you keep those pitchers ready to go after long breaks like that?
Yeah, it feels good to have the lead, right? And you want to be able to have the lead and be able to get back in there and keep throwing a bunch of strikes while you got the lead. Then just keeping yourself locked in the moment and not letting the inning get too big and too long and too much rest. But David handled it really well and came back in and kept it on strikes.
The rest of the weekend off. Next week, the Pflugerville Panthers, Tuesday, Friday, tilt. I believe it is the Panthers. Mm-hmm. And then we're back at the Mesquite Creek Outfitters on Thursday night. We'll have a coaches show there. What does it look like for this team in the next few days, a few days off? Did they earn it? We talked about that last night. They didn't earn themselves a day or 2 off?
Yeah, so we'll get a little bit of work in tomorrow and then give them the rest of the weekend off and give them an opportunity to kind of rest up a little bit. We've been kind of grinding on them for a few weeks, and so give them a couple of days off, get their bodies back in shape, and then having quality practice on Monday and get back out on Tuesday.
Saw the family out tonight. Any other shout-outs other than that?
Papa Doodle, I think you're watching home. Love you.
Coach Vieira, the Eagles go to 2-0 in district with a win, 11-0 in 5 innings over the Cougars of Connally High School. Now they'll take the couple of day break after tomorrow's workout, and we'll be back here live on Tuesday night to take on the Pflugerville Panthers in district action. Join us live here at Eagle Field for that game, 7 o'clock first pitch. But if you can't be here, join us live on the SHN Network. First Responder Broadcasting covers all things Georgetown Eagle baseball. Join us live Tuesday night if you can't be here, and then we'll have the coaches show on Thursday. Lots of action coming up in the next few weeks for your Georgetown Eagles. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good week, and remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good night, everybody.